Which future artists are you planning on bringing?
Should I say that now?
Did you come from a rich background?
I come from a very rich family, really rich, super rich. The sky is your limit, and the sky should be your limit. Never fear to fail, but fail better. I remember we had to walk nearly 10 kilometers plus.
How do you manage chaos during events?
God.
Honoring our very first podcast today is a very special guest. He is an entrepreneur, someone who has had a journey of failures, but continues to inspire Mauritius, especially the youngsters. And he has managed to build an ecosystem so strong and so powerful that this Mauritian brand is now recognized internationally. So ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Ajay Deora, founder and CEO of Ticketbox.mu.
Thank you very much, Parry, and this is such an honor to be here today. And thank you, MauTalk and MauTalk team and everybody who's here behind the scene. It's an incredible honor to be here on this platform with a group of youngsters. And I'm very honored to hear that my journey is inspiring youngsters. I would really love to contribute more to see how we can help more of the youngsters of today. But thank you very much again for inviting me on your very first podcast. It's such an honor.
Thank you for trusting us and being here, right? The pleasure is all ours. And before we dive into the business aspect and find out who you are professionally and what led to it, who is the face behind Ticketbox.mu? Who are you as a person? Please tell us more about yourself.
Well, I'm a very simple person. My journey started from many things to what I am today. I believe that everything that I have done from the beginning of my educational life to my professional life as an employee has contributed to what I am today. But also, I think the ethics, the culture of my family has also contributed massively to who I am today, I think. I never thought that today I will be on such a platform to talk about inspiring youngsters. That's like a dream come true. And thank you once again from the bottom of my heart for this opportunity. So who is Ajay Deora? Where do I start? I don't know. Where should I start? Maybe I should start from my educational journey. I went to John Kennedy Secondary School, and then I graduated. I started doing fine art as my first degree. So I always wanted to be a graphic designer. At that time, my dream was, I had one dream from the age of 14, 15. I was really good at art and design at school, secondary school. And the only thing that I thought I'd pursue was designing, graphic design. I love drawing, designing logos, designing branding, colors, playing with colors. So I thought I'll stick to creativity. That's where I started. Then Mauritius basically wasn't ready for graphic design at that time. I'm not that old though, but there was only like 2 institutions doing graphic design, like very briefly. Then I chose to pursue fine art, of which there was a module of graphic design. I said, well, that would be a good start. But even though the fine art was a great opening for me, although the first 2 years was not entirely graphic design, it was mostly drawings, opening your mindset, get your creativity out, define your personality. That really helped me to shape to who I am today. If somebody would tell me, well, Ajay, you've studied fine art as a first degree to an entrepreneur. What is the relationship between those two? I would say I don't know. But to keep it short, we'll come to that. I think I'm sure there's more. There will be more opportunity to exploring this journey. I am the CEO and founder of Ticketbox.mu, and I have had a really fruitful journey of professional career into many things. I've had the opportunity to do a lot of exciting projects, and all these experiences and expertise over the years has contributed to what I have built today with Ticketbox.mu.
Okay. And you mentioned that you studied fine arts and graphic designing. Is there anything that studying these degrees taught you that you still carry to this day, whether it was in building the platform or even producing an event?
So, producing an event was never in my thinking process or something that I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. I wanted to become a graphic designer, and after I did my fine art, 2 years of fine art, I had the opportunity to go to the UK to continue my studies.
Yeah.
And I always wanting something bigger in my life. How big? I don't know. Like I told you, I used to go to John Kennedy. John Kennedy used to have a tagline, "The sky is the limit."
Okay.
So that was stuck in my mind. The sky is your limit, and the sky should be your limit. The sky is the limit. So I resonate a lot to that. And kudos to all the Canadians.
Okay, lovely.
So I never give up. I never gave up. So I went to the UK to study graphic design, of which that, how do you say in Creole, tournure. So it took a very interesting tournure in my career. I started my degree again over there. The studies, the foundation, the culture, the difference, the open mindset. That has brought up to how you open up your mind even more. The way you basically think changed. Because Mauritius is an island, and I love Mauritius, and I love being Mauritian. But the opportunity that you get in UK, Europe, really gives you the aperture of opening your mindset, learning more about culture, fast-paced environment, different trend of design. Design has started long back, but you get the history from the UK, from the European culture. You have a different mindset altogether. So that started. So I did graphic design over there. With never thinking, where am I going? Where do I start? Where am I going? What am I going to be? My goal was to basically study graphic design full stop and become a graphic designer. I always thought that my career will end as a graphic designer, maybe an art director. I mean, growing into that filière, into that field. Maybe I was actually, in my mindset, I was actually thinking, I will be a graphic designer, senior graphic designer, maybe an art director, and then I'll retire or something like that. But life has other expectation for you.
Yeah.
Right.
And what was the hardest part of starting over in a new country?
Challenge. I still remember the first day I landed in the UK. It was weird. That was my first time I traveled abroad. Well, the only place I've only been at that time was Rodrigue. Going to Europe, I remember on the first day, me and my friend, so we went together to the UK. So it was a couple of friends. He landed in the UK a week before me. So he had the responsibility to look for a place where we should be staying together, a little. We stayed into a little apartment, of which there was only 2 rooms we were sharing. I remember on the first day as I landed, so he said, we don't have any bed for you yet, but we need to go and get a bed. Obviously, we didn't had the time to get a bed, but I remember we had to walk nearly 10 kilometers plus, carry a mattress on our shoulders and walking back. Because that was my first day. That was a highlight of my first day. And we went back. We went to buy a cupboard, table, so we're carrying on our shoulders to take it to the apartment, because we had to furnish the apartment. And it was just this 1 week, of course. It was a beautiful start. It was an absolute beautiful start. Challenging, obviously missing the family, far from the family. No one in the family has ever gone out of the country, thinking that what will happen, you don't know what will happen. You're living from today to tomorrow, and only thinking for the best.
It's true, in the moment we do so many things that seem so difficult. It seems like the end of the world. And then later on it's like, oh, but it was actually really fun, right?
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
like memories in the moment.
Yes.
And you did spend years in London working as a senior front-end developer and UX UI designer.
Correct.
What did that world teach you that you didn't expect?
So before we get to this question, I think I needed to tell you a little bit more about how did I get my first job, basically.
Okay.
I'm already in the UK, so I've studied graphic design. So I've already I started again from because I wanted to have the right foundation. So after my 2 years of studies, I needed to do an internship, 3 weeks internship. So I applied to many companies, and I was the last one to not having secured an internship. And I happened to see there was one company who does car seats, safety product for children, of which I'm sure you're using this everywhere in Mauritius nowadays. So I approached that company because they had a 1-year internship. I was like, but I don't need a 1-year internship. I need only 3 weeks. So I went there, submitted my CV. I said, well, I need a 3 weeks internship. Is that possible? And everything. They said, well, we really like you, but we shortlisted 2 candidates. And this company, basically, they only take 1 internship every year as a graphic designer. But this year was different. So after 1 week, they rejected me. I said, well, unfortunately, we had to choose the other candidate. It was a very tight choice to make, but obviously we chose the other candidate. I was like, okay, fine, I'll move on. I need to keep looking for the opportunities. Then eventually, after a week, I get an email saying that, Ajay, we would like to see you again. So they gave me a task.
Okay.
And when I did that task, I really excelled in it, and they were very impressed. They said, Ajay, you know what? We will exceptionally this year open up to 2 candidates. And that was the beginning of my journey as a graphic designer. So I had not a 3 weeks internship, but they offered me a 1-year full-time internship, like fully paid as well. So I was then I started as a graphic designer right then during my 2nd year, whilst I'm studying. That was a golden opportunity, and I will never forget that.
Yeah.
Which is why today, when I look at you guys, what you guys are doing with MauTalk, I have the same feeling of when I had that opportunity. I feel like if somebody at that time, on that day, didn't believe in me, maybe I wouldn't be here today. Everything starts with something.
Yeah.
That was my golden opportunity.
Yeah, and I think that something is believing in yourself. when you believe in yourself, other people believe in yourself,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so working in the tech field, are there any differences you noticed between the situation over there and in Mauritius?
Yeah, absolutely. So throughout that journey, basically, that was my first job, and then after 1 year, after I completed my graphic design studies, I joined a company which I worked for nearly 12 years, and then I grew myself in terms of graphic design. I was a senior graphic designer afterwards, and publishing designer, designing magazines. I was working very closely with marketing. And then opportunity came to do my master's in creative technology and computer science. UK London is a very fast-paced evolution country. If you don't work with that pace, you stay behind. You have to move forward together or not. You know. So I had to basically reinvent myself and develop myself further. So very quickly I realized that graphic design is not giving me that need of my career. So I started within the company. Obviously, I was working for a tech company. Uh, Other opportunities were coming up in terms of becoming a developer, pushing me to become a software developer. Because what the company was doing, it's a leading auction company building websites to facilitate online auctions. And again, maybe my inspiration come from there. Why I have created a marketplace today to make people believe that you should be buying online. Online is the future. It's the same thing. That company, what they did, they disrupted the market where auctions, basically people have to go to auctions.
Yeah.
It was an auction technology company. So they made people believe that actually you can bid on an item without going to the auction. You can do it online. So convenience, save your time. Somebody from Mauritius can bid on an item in the UK. Somebody from the US can bid in a live auction happening in Dubai. So that was the perception of it. Maybe then my inspiration came from then. I didn't realize it until later in the year.
And something I'm really curious about. You were pretty stable in the UK.
Yes.
So what was the shift, in your mindset, and you decided, I no longer just want to work in this field. I want to create something of my own. And most importantly, why leave everything behind and come back home?
I think to start with is I may be living in the UK, but my heart remains Mauritian, right? I went to the UK not to stay there and working there. I went there to basically gather knowledge, to learn about myself, to explore more of what I can do. Like I never thought of staying in a box. So after years of experience and expertise that I've learned over time over there, and I thought I always wanted to see and find an opportunity to basically bring back that knowledge to my country, bring back that knowledge to Mauritius and share that expertise, develop more the country, develop more the island, contribute to the society, give back to the society. If we can have something, if we can have a fast-paced life in the UK, then we should then foresee that Mauritius would be very soon capturing that momentum. Somebody had to do it. So random idea came. I was like, what do I do? I'm in tech. I never thought of creating Ticketbox.mu. That was the last thing at the back of my mind. I didn't even think. But I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something exciting. So I've never worked into events. I have zero experience in events. So one day, call up a couple of friends, of which we used to be partner. We said, well, let's try to start something new in Mauritius. At that time, it was not even called a business. We didn't know we wanted to do a business. And I said, I have a brilliant idea. I have a contact with an artist. Let's do a concert. That should be fun. But then we said, well, none of us knows how to do concert. One of the guys, a quantity surveyor or something, or the other one is working in airlines, and the other one is working in photography or something. And I'm in tech. And I was like, yeah, let's try to see how we can pull it together. It'll be fun. Maybe we'll learn something from it. Maybe we'll contribute something to Mauritius. So we came up with the idea of doing a concert in 2017. Really random idea. So we did it. Cut story short, that was our first very much big loss. The first learning. I was like, right, what are we doing? What have we done? But it was fun though. It was really fun. It was a learning curve. It was a learning journey. What I learned about it is I learned more about Mauritius. I've never worked in Mauritius.
Okay.
That was a learning curve for me.
Mm-hmm.
My first job was in the UK. And I don't know the working culture. I disconnected from the working culture because I've been living there for the past 15 years already, 12 years odd. Like after spending such a long period of time, you disconnect a little bit with your country in terms of the working culture, evolution of what's happening, because I'm not following what's happening every day, although I'm far, but I'm trying to keep up, but there's so many things happening every day. But we learn in the sense of, okay, people don't buy tickets online. Buying tickets online was not a thing in 2017. People are scared to put their credit card online. What if I get scammed? People preferred to go to shops to buy a ticket for a concert. But I'm thinking the reason why we didn't make it profitable was we couldn't reach that audience. We couldn't reach people to buying tickets. That was the main thing. But then again, we had hired a company who's supposed to be selling tickets online and who's supposed to be helping us marketing the event, who's supposed to be making our event successful. And that company, when you think about it, it was a very well-established company then. It had 15 years of existence. So we tried to play it safe. We went to the best radio to market the event. We did our billboards. I mean, there was a checklist. We ticked all the checklists. Sometime in life, when you think about, okay, I'm going to do a business, I have a checklist. If I do all these things, that should be profitable. That was the algorithm. It was a success algorithm checklist, we call it. But then you also learn that not everything goes according to plans. Although the concert was very successful, the artist delivered a great performance, but we didn't make it money-wise. We made a loss. But then we said, okay, that's our first learning. Then the journey continues to say, well, what do we do next?
I hope your story speaks to all the young Mauritians who are only studying with the dream of leaving the country and never coming back. I'm really glad that you were able to come back to the island and contribute in such a huge, significant way, right? I really hope that our young Mauritians are inspired by the story of yours. And I actually happened to be at your TEDx talk a few days back, and the whole theme was fail again, fail better, right?
Correct.
And this is the first time that I'm hearing, like at an esteemed platform, TEDx speaker celebrating failure. Usually it's, the recipe to success or how to become successful. So why are we celebrating failure? Take me into your, thinking pattern here.
Fail again, but fail better. It's a journey that I have gone through my life, my professional career, my learning curves. I think if you give yourself the freedom of failure, that's the key to success. You need to embrace failure. You need to accept that, hey, I did that first concert. I failed. I failed because I felt I did not study the market well, or I was cheated by certain companies. Whatever happened, you're learning. But you're learning to not to repeat that mistake. If I did not fail, you know that magic checklist I've told you, it would have proven that the world works with only a checklist. But the world doesn't work like this. Evolution doesn't work like this. So that was my first failure, but I've had many other failures. Failures basically make you more resilient. Failure makes you more strong as a person. You know, being strong, it's not going to the gym only. Like physically, I look strong, I have muscles, I have tabs. But strong is also your mind should be strong. You need to train your mind as well. Accept failure. Fail better. Learn from your failures. So, youngsters today, if you've had a failure once in your life, get up, do it again. You will surely succeed. Success is inevitable. If you believe in yourself, you have the capacity to conquer the world. The sky is the limit. You know?
Yeah, that's beautiful. And was there a problem in specific that you wanted to tackle and solve when you came up with the idea of, Ticketbox, or was it really just a fun initiative you started that later delved into deeper problems?
So the story continues from my first concert, the famous online ticketing platform, then in 2017. So the reason why I'm here today, Barry, is I appreciate people. I love helping people. My dad has taught me such principle that, you give, you contribute to the world will give you back. And I believe in this. So my my ethics tells me that, look, I went to that ticketing company. I said, well, you know what? You could try to do better. I'm the one who made a loss. The concert didn't work out, and we couldn't reach to enough people. Like the mindset of getting people out to go and buy tickets at point of sale shops. It's not always it's not convenient. The world is changing, and by that time we're already in nearly end of 2018, mid 2018. No, beginning of 2018, mid 2018. I was like, the world is going very fast. You need to evolve your platform and try to reach people more online, encourage people to book online. So I was told by the company, surprisingly, say, well, if you don't like our service, go and create your own platform and sell your tickets and prove us that you can do better. But then again, that's a polite version of it. Well, that got me thinking that, okay, every beautiful journey starts with a challenge. He's challenged me. But I'm not somebody who's been challenged and I want to prove you wrong. I've been challenged because I believe that the society, Mauritius, needs better. I did not create Ticketbox because I wanted to take revenge of that company. I created Ticketbox to help people. I created Ticketbox today to make people realize that convenience exists. Mauritius can do better. And I started to find the reason of my existence. The reason to what I have acquired in terms of knowledge, skill sets over the years. I was like, I think this is it. This is what I need to do. I will try it. I will give myself, I will contribute to my country. This is my contribution to Mauritius. This is my contribution to helping people. Some people will see it as a business. I see it as an opportunity to help people. I did not initiate a ticket. I did not start Ticketbox as a business. I started Ticketbox to help people, because what resonated with me was I was an event organizer who went to a company to seek help to sell my tickets, and I was giving them constructive feedback. What did I get back? You know, I was like, how many more people like me there are in Mauritius who's struggling on a day-to-day, who does not have the capacity to know where to start in terms of doing a concert. I wanted to be that person, and I'm up to today. I'm very open to many people. I've helped many people in terms of growing into events, helping them do the events, helping them understand what are the do's and don'ts, because I've learned it all. I don't want people to fail. I want to help everyone in Mauritius doing concerts. I want to help people growing, believing in themselves. That's I think this is the meaning of my life now. This is the meaning of my professional journey.
Your success was self-made. No one came and did things for you. It was your own wake-up call. But did the people understand very rapidly that what you were doing was to help them, or did they prefer to stick to their norms and their old and usual ways? Were they sticking to their comfort zone, or were they ready to put themselves out and test out what you wanted to offer? So please do share about the hardships that you went through trying to establish Ticketbox in Mauritius.
Obviously, most of the big companies who's disrupted the market started with failures, started with challenges, started with the world is not ready for such a company, for such places. We take it as Tesla, one of the pioneer of electric cars. Everybody was saying that electric cars? What are we talking about? It's not going to work. Airbnb? People will not basically rent their houses. What are we talking about? Uber? We have a world of taxi in the world. Who's going to use Uber? All these companies that have taken references were bound to fail. Were bound to fail. Why? Because they came up with a mindset of innovation. People are never ready. If you were ready, then it would just be another product on the market. This is disruption that we're talking about. So to answer your question, Mauritius was not ready for Ticketbox. So we started Ticketbox in 2019, online ticketing platform for events. That's why we started. That was our first core of our business line. Because what was I doing with Ticketbox.mu? I was basically helping myself first. I was like, I want to continuously create concert. How do I get people? How do I reach more people? With zero clients, zero customers, zero sign up, zero audience. Competing with a company who's been here for 20 years already. People were not ready to buy online. Buying online was deemed to be, at that time, recognized to be scammy, dodgy. I don't want to put my credit card online. So no, to answer your question, people were not ready for Ticketbox. There was an educational journey that we had to do. You had to basically encourage people to why you should be booking online. My journey of Ticketbox was basically mostly educational, reinvention, adaptation, but most importantly, selling convenience. When you make people realize that actually, if I wanted to buy tickets for a concert, I had to take my car or I take a public transport from X to Y to the point of sales to buy tickets. Now, this is going out of my normal journey, right? It takes an hour here and there, driving, traffic, and coming back, parking, and all that. Imagine that you could have saved that 1 hour of your life by simply going online and purchase a ticket in minutes. That's our goal. That's why we educated people. That's why we disrupted on the market. We became the first online ticketing platform. People did not believe in us. My own friends didn't believe in me. Nobody believed us. Like, I presented this idea to one of a so-called friend. I presented him and said, well, we're going to start an online ticketing platform for events. You're an event organizer, but would you like to sell your tickets with us, support us? He said, no, there's no way you can compete with that other existing company. There's no way. I was like, if your friends are not believing in you, your close people are not believing in you, then you started realizing, are you going towards another failure? Are you going to be successful in disrupting the market? But if at that time I basically did not believe in myself, I was not strong enough in terms of my mindset, probably I would have given up in most cases. But then, Barry, the only person who knows their true strength is not me, it's yourself. You should know your own strength, your personal strength, and never let anyone underestimate that.
I'm sure one question that our audience is really, really wanting to ask you right now is, did you come from a rich background?
Of course. I come from a very rich family, really rich, super rich, but rich in ethics, rich in culture, rich in principle. That's how rich my family is. And this is what has contributed to who I am today. This is what has contributed to my building myself, positioning myself, and this is what has contributed to my success today.
I think you have enlisted all the perfect ingredients to leading a happy and healthy life. And another thing that I have noticed is that in your timeline of life events, there is a little bit of a break between working at the auction tech company and starting Ticketbox. So what were you doing between those two events?
Wow, a lot of things, actually. So I worked for the auction technology company. That was for nearly 12 years. I've always been working in the tech industry. After this, I left my job to joining a cybersecurity company, of which my role was to design and create the platform for a cybersecurity company, of which it was affiliated, but it was affiliated to one of the biggest cybersecurity company in the world, which is called CrowdStrike. And I had the opportunity to work with Disney, Universal Movies through this company. And even the last project I worked with was, in Las Vegas, there's something called the MSG Sphere, a massive globe, the lighting globe. So I was the only Mauritian who worked on it. And I was in charge of designing the software, the front-end software that does the projection mapping on this globe. This was incredible. Life-changing moments. And then during that time, Ticketbox was already on the side, I was doing as a maybe side gig, which now developed during COVID. So Ticketbox was developed mostly during COVID. So during that transition of my career, basically, Ticketbox was already born in 2019. We started as a ticketing platform, but then again, during COVID, the time stopped. Didn't know, again, future of Ticketbox again, we didn't know what will happen. That was, again, second sort of failure. Reinventing yourself. You go back to thinking, what do we do? The clock stopped for everyone. All businesses stopped overnight. No events happening. Not only my friends wasn't actually advertising their events on Ticketbox, but there was no one doing any events. But yeah, so that was a journey to fulfill that gap between between the auction company and until the start of Ticketbox.
It's also interesting. I don't think anyone would have ever guessed that, the face behind Ticketbox has had such interesting and remarkable life experiences and really diverse, right? But what I find truly, truly inspiring about the whole journey is how it started off as this wild idea of, let's sell tickets online. And now you have, made a brand so impactful, you have penetrated into the market in Reunion Island.
Yes.
And what started off at just you can book your tickets online for Mauritian music events. Now we can book for international events. We can book our flight travels through your, brand. We can even experience F1. So how
Yes.
did all of that happen?
Yes, but you're absolutely spot on. Ticketbox.mu today, it's not only for events anymore. We sell hotels. We sell all the hotels in Mauritius. We sell flights. You name them, Emirates, British Airways, Air Mauritius, South African Airline, Saudi Airline, all of them. So we're a marketplace for hotels, flights, events. If you want to book a spa, day packages, restaurant, even gift cards. We do our own gift cards. And when we created our gift card, people are saying that, yeah, but it's just another gift card. But we came up, again, disrupting the gift card industry. The USP of our gift card is that our gift card never expires. Whereas every gift card on the market today in Mauritius, they have an expiry date of 6 months to 1 year. Our thought process is different. But then again, after the gift card, then we also expanded into connecting people traveling abroad. This is also a Mauritian service. So if you want to go to the UK, what do you do in the UK? So many people came to me and said, well, Ajay, you live in the UK, but I want to go watch a football match. I'm in the UK right now. I want to watch a football match. Where do I start? Where do I get tickets? And I thought, hang on. I was like, hang on. Why do you have to come to the UK first, for example, and then you start looking where to buy tickets? People were getting scammed. You don't know where to start. You don't live in your country. You're coming for a short period of time. They don't know where to. Then I started thinking, how do we transform this? How do we help people in Mauritius? So today, Ticketbox basically is the first platform in Africa who's connected with F1 tracks, with Premier League Stadium, FIFA World Cup. You can buy international concerts. You want to go watch Ed Sheeran, K-pop, you name them. All the artists in the world, Ticketbox is here for you. You can buy them conveniently, safely, with trust and confidence through Ticketbox.mu. So what I'm trying to tell people, instead of you going to the UK and buy your tickets for whatever international concerts and football matches, plan your trip from Mauritius. See which date there are, which match, if you're into footballs. But you can also watch Wimbledon, tennis, rugby, cricket. Everything is on Ticketbox. We have the whole pool of inventory. So we want to, again, convenience. At the beginning, I told you, Ticketbox is selling convenience. That's what we are selling, experiences and convenience. So what we are telling people is, before you book your flight, hang on, plan your trip. You want to book your flight? Book it through Ticketbox. You want to book your hotel in the UK? Book it for Ticketbox. So plan your trip. That's what we are. So we give you the flexibility. We're not selling you packages. This is day one, you will do this. Day two, you will do this. Create your own itinerary and experience. So that flexibility and convenience, that's what we are for. That's what we have done. And today we are a market leader in terms of all these verticals, of which we are the only company who's doing this in Mauritius, very proudly. And as you got it right, we are expanding into Réunion Island. As you're right, we're expanding into Réunion Island, into South Africa. We're already expanding into Seychelles. I think the world is your oyster now.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And with Ticketbox, it's so easy to just plan everything at one single place, not to mention how it's extremely credible as well, right?
Absolutely.
And before we wrap up the first episode of MauTalk, I would like to ask you some questions that were asked by our viewers on Instagram. The first one being, what do you do during your free time?
Oh, wow. What do I do in my free time? Interesting question. I like to watch movies. I like to read magazines, articles, listen to podcasts, inspiration. I like to listen to music. I like to cook. I like to bake cake. I think this gives me the freedom of thinking. It gives me the freedom of reinventing myself differently. And I like to go to the gym as well, exercise.
Okay, second question. How do you manage chaos during events?
God. I think, where do I start? Well, first of all, there's always chaos in everywhere, in whatever you do, but you need to be resilient. I have an incredible team behind me. I'm not just one person doing everything. So Ticketbox.mu has a team spirit. Everybody is contributing to the success of Ticketbox. So chaos happen, but chaos happen with a smile. We know how we handle them. We ensure that give people the comfort that they need, that they came for. It's not about managing chaos. It's about having that chaos. I think it's another feeling. If you don't have chaos in a concert, which means the concert is not going well. It's part of the
Experience.
making.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love a little bit of drama. I love a little bit of chaotic situation. So that brings a bit more value to what you're doing. But one thing I can tell you, besides all the chaos that happens behind all the organization that happen, and I was telling that to a friend yesterday, when you organize a concert, all the concerts I have organized so far, when the moment the artist goes on stage for the first time on that day, I get goosebumps when you hear the audience roaring to the artist, the happiness, the response, the energy. That's success.
Which future artists are you planning on bringing?
Well, there's many artists in the pipeline, but I think I would like to reverse that question. Which artist do you want Ticketbox to bring?
Okay, well, I'm going to leave this question to my dear viewers. Please, in the comment section, tell us what artists you would like Ticketbox to bring to Mauritius.
I think that's fair.
Someone from our team actually has another question for you.
What's the best advice you have for the concerts?
Well, looking at you today, looking at you all today, I'm very inspired. I feel very confident. Looking at you youngsters today, I feel proud of you all. So I would like to take the opportunity first to say thank you for inviting me on this podcast, making your first podcast. This is an absolute honor. But what advice I have for all the youngsters today is believe in yourself, be resilient, always be disruptive, never fear to fail, but fail better. Fail better, learn from your failures, build something stronger. If I have it, you definitely have it. And I will leave you to that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your kind and encouraging words. These are the kind of encouragements that help us keep going, keep pushing us forward, because it's not easy to do what we are doing, but then we look at your journey and then we're reminded, hey, if he could do it, then we can too. And it has been an absolute honor to host Mr. Ajay Deora, the man himself, on the very first episode of MauTalk. And thank you so much for shedding light on such important themes of life, such as invention, reinvention, never giving up, always believing in yourself and your dream. And thank you so much.
Let's dab it up. Thank you very much. You've been a great host. Thank you very much, Pari. Doing absolutely beautiful today. And keep going. Keep that strength going. And remember, the sky's the limit.